Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Schizo podcast, episode 37. Yep, my name is Miguel, and welcome back. Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, by the way, I am now also live on the Facebook. You can find it on the Schizo podcast page. So if you want to watch live and maybe interact a little bit while I am talking, feel free to check me out on the Schizo podcast page. And also, as usual, we are also live on Twitch. Anyway, enough of the introduction. Tonight, I am going to talk about two things only. Yep. And the first one is it's kind of a big picture thing. I've kind of alluded about this last week, but now let's talk about the big picture. All right, here's my thing. I think we are addicted to getting offended and not just being offended by things that are said about us. My biggest problem is we are getting offended by things that are not that doesn't even concern us. You know what I'm saying? It's like everyone now are looking for ways, are being creative, looking for ways to get offended. It's no longer enough to just be offended by things that are said about them. Just like this Jinky Pacquiao and Agot Isidro thing. During this pandemic, of course I'm paraphrasing, but during this pandemic, this is so insensitive. This is so insensitive. You posting about your riches and all that, and all the poor people will be offended by this. Who are you to say? You're not even poor, and who are you? Who made you the spokesperson for the poor people? You know, you it's kind of like they're trying to be holier than thou in a weird way, or like they're trying to lecture you. They're trying to make them feel like they're above you or they're better than you. They're a better person compared to you because they understand or they realize that what you're saying could be offended to another party. By saying that, it's kind of like Agot is baiting the poor people to go like, yeah, Agot is right. During this pandemic, that's so insensitive for you to say, Jinky. Yeah, we are suffering right now. We don't have money. We lost our jobs, and you saying that it makes us feel envious. It makes us wanna kill ourselves. So fuck you, Jinky. But that's not what happened. You know, and I think what happened here is because Jinky and Manny, we all know that Jinky and Manny they came from like rags to riches. They weren't very rich. I mean, they're really poor from Gen San before Manny became an icon. And it's kind of like these two people, Jinky and Manny, they're kind of like an inspiration for poor people. They're the ones who made it out of poverty, and by seeing Manny and Jinky, it's more likely that people are getting they're getting inspired by, oh, if Manny, if Jinky can do this, maybe it's possible that we can also get out of this. Granted, the chances are very slim. We all know that it's hard for poor people to get, especially in the Philippines. It's hard for poor people to get out of that the poverty, that predicament, because the government itself, the people who should help these people, us, they're the ones who's trying to steal from us. So the government is not helping at all. But you know what? With Manny, the life of Manny, the life of Jinky, it kind of gives them a hope that maybe someday, we never know. But if I persevere, if I do things right, if I don't give up, maybe I'll make it out of here. So they're kind of inspiration. And by the way, as I've mentioned, this is a big picture thing. Not only does this happen here with our celebrities, it also happens like in our country. It happens all over the world actually. Here's what I'll say so that I don't get misconstrued, or I'm not taken out of context here. If you're gonna get offended by someone's statement, make sure that the party involved is offended first, or like uh, maybe it's better for us to back up or like to support someone who is offended. Let's not lead the charge towards the outrage, because it's like it's just an outrage culture nowadays. We're looking for more things to be mad about. Why don't you just chill? It's not about you. Why don't you just chill? Why are you wasting your energy on something that doesn't concern you? Just relax. If you wanna get outraged, if you wanna be mad at something, uh, mad about a statement that doesn't concern you, make sure that the party that's mentioned or the subject of the statement is actually mad, is actually outraged, and then you can back that party up or back that group or like that individual and say, yeah, I am with this guy. You said some harmful or like offensive things to this guy, and I hate you for that. Don't do that. But if you're just gonna lead the charge and like, hey, this guy, he said something bad about you. Come on, let's hate him. I don't think that's a very good thing. One, it's a waste of energy because um, you're just you're just being mad about something that doesn't concern you. And two, it's probably a you're just creating havoc. You're creating chaos out of nothing. Maybe the other party doesn't really want to concern himself to that person, or maybe that person who said something is not relevant to the subject. They don't really care about what that person says. But now that you're trying to pin them against each other, you're now you created chaos. I remember when I was a kid, people will be like they'll provoke you to a fight. They'll be like, oh, hawakan mo nga sa tenga. Ganyan. I'm sure a lot of old people like me can relate to that. And they'll be like, oh, hawakan mo nga sa tenga. Oh, duwag ka pala eh. Mga ganun. So it's kind of like this. So the party that's outraged, they're the ones trying to create chaos. Actually, it's not the subject who's outraged. Most of the time, it's just the spectator. It's just a third party, someone who doesn't have a say about the matter. They're just trying to step in, trying to act like holier than thou, trying to act like the better man, trying to support the other group, and then trying to lecture the other group who said who made the statement, and that makes them the bigger person. It I understand it would feel good to be that. You look like the hero in that regard, in that exchange, in that scenario. But it's not a very good scenario, and it's kind of selfish, actually, if you ask me. And so yeah, that's my big picture thing. And yeah, maybe I said too much. But yeah, next. Okay, another thing that I'd like to talk about is the DTI thing. All right, I'll read it for you so that I don't misquote anything. And by the way, this is tweeted by CNN Philippines. So disclaimer: I don't know CNN Philippines really. Like, I don't know their agenda. I don't follow the news a lot. So if this is legit, if the quote is legit, then yeah, this is a problem. And so I'm quoting the DTI, by the way. So uh, the comment is about the barter trade, online barter trade between communities. And so the representative said, and I quote, "Ngayon ko lang to narinig. Very unusual yan. Allowed ito sa limited places sa Mindanao." And then he continued, "Sa ibang lugar, hindi allowed ang barter trade. Dapat regular transactions tayo at may tax na binabayaran." Alright, so how greedy can you guys be, Sobra-sobra na eh. This barter thing is a good thing. It's good for everyone that's involved. It lessens the risk for for getting COVID, and two, it gives morale to people because since everyone is online, we don't get to we don't get to talk to people. So by doing barter, it forces people to talk, and especially in communities. Like for example, if I do barter, if you don't know barter, it's a trade, goods for goods. There's no money involved. It's good for goods or good for goods for service. So I think the community barter is good. It's beneficial, even to the politicians, to the DTI people, because if there's less people who are infected by COVID, and then there's higher chance now when you go out, you don't get infected. So yeah, I think it's a good thing. And if these people, these government officials, are trying to stop that as well, trying to, you know, I hate to say it, pero parang killjoy, eh. You know? Parang lahat na lang ng gagawin natin na masaya, and then pagka hindi sila nagbe-benefit, pagka wala silang nakukuha in return, parang ayaw nila. Parang, okay, so yung bike, wala silang nakukuha doon kasi walang LTO. Gusto nilang i-tax. Gusto nilang i-register. Yung internet, pagka nagpo-post ka ng mga video sa YouTube, ganun, wala silang nakukuha doon. I-tax na rin natin yan. So, alam mo yun, it's getting very suspicious. Anything, it feels like anything that we do, us Filipinos, anything that we do that doesn't benefit them, they'll try to take it away from us. And it's fucking bullshit. I'm getting tired of it. And it just shows how greedy these people are. And that's exactly their mindset. I think they're just sitting in their high chair and saying, the taxes that the people give, it goes to us. You know, they don't even think that taxes goes to the people. Taxes is for us, the Filipino people. But it feels like, and I think this is their mindset, taxes goes to them. That is that is for them to take. And so if they think like that, if there's a transaction that we do not pay taxes, they feel like nadadaya sila. Tingin nila lugi sila dahil hindi sila nakakuha ng pera through taxes. And so that's a very questionable thing for me, and I hate this comment so much. It just shows, and it makes it very obvious that our government, and again, it feels like no one is excluded in this. And when I say the government, it feels like it's just everyone that's doing it. Everyone wants a piece of us, and it's very disheartening that the government is out there to kill our fun. You know, trying to just. I've been saying this word all over and over again, but trying to squeeze us dry, suck us dry, and I don't know what to do anymore. But yeah, so that's all I wanted to say about that matter, and I hope I made sense a little bit. But yeah, so that's it for me. That's episode 37. Hopefully, I'll see you on Friday for episode 38. And so yeah, my name is Miguel. Thank you for watching, and good night.